All right, YouTube. Just want to do a video to my Volvo V70 first generation from '99. It's the same thing with S70, C70 first generation, and the 850. So this car is from '99. It has mileage of 300,000 kilometers on it. Well, the problem is this AC unit has very weak airflow coming out of the vents. As you probably know, these cars doesn't have backseat vents, so in hot summer days like this, you really have to rely on these vents to get the entire cabin nice and cool. So this car particularly has a MCC, which means a manually controlled unit, and you can find many helpful and quality videos on YouTube to solve all kinds of AC problems. But mine particularly is a little bit different, so I'm going to show you what my problem is and how I solved it. Hopefully it will give you some good advice and some good reference. Right, so the AC unit has weak airflow coming out of the vents. By sitting here by the driver's side or the front passenger seat, you'll be able to get some cool air. As I already have people change the compressor pump. It's a new one from last year, and here the heater core behind has been changed because it was some leaking last year. Right, so first I thought it was the blow motor was not strong enough, so I had people changed because it's not so good anyway. But it turns out it didn't solve the problem. So the passenger seats are fine. As I said, here you can feel some cool air. As long as you have these vents face towards you, blows you on your face, you'll be able to survive. That's no problem. But see, it sitting at the back seat, that's another story. In my case, that's my wife and kids. So they refuse to sit in this car, during day like this. I don't blame them. So I want to get it fixed. Have some nice, cool air fill up the cabin, so we'll be able to enjoy this car many years longer. Right, so let me show you what I've done. So I eliminated all these possible points, if I can put that way. It's made in China. I know the quality is not there, but it's cheap enough for me to just use it, you know, 1 or 2 times. It's very cheap. I believe you can have this on Amazon or eBay, but this is where I live in China, right? So these are extremely cheap. I know, you know, the image quality is not that good, but I'll be able to see through these copes. It has very thin wire, but you can bend them, curve them to fit into the ducts. And here, get LEDs, so you'll be able to see inside. Good enough. So I put these through. Of course, you had to pop up the vent cover to have them inside the tube. So here I have a manually adjusted blender motor switch here. As you probably know, these cars come with the blend motor. I have the heat air ready to come in. So you have to switch the blender door to maximum here, the cold side, in order to have the maximum volume of the amount of cool air coming in through these vents. So you'll be able to see through these vents, inside of it, down beneath, I think behind here somewhere, they had the blender doors, right? So the MCC units, I like them very much. Not like the ECC, because you have the motor there, and there controls the blender door closes and shuts. Sometimes the motor is fine, but the linkage, I mean the plastic ones, are always broken, like my old S70. But on this V70, this is the V70 anyway, right, by the way, so it's okay. It is manually controlled. As you turn this, you can hear the blender door actually moving. Right, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but the door actually closes. As you can hear, it shuts completely. In order to prove that, I use this group just to make sure that is working fine. Both of these are working fine. It opens and closes completely as you turn them left and right. So the blower motor has been changed. The vents are fine. The blender doors are working. And here, if I can, yeah, right. So you have the circulation adjustments, which is, I believe, there. Okay, there's a lever there. It opens and closes the flap on top of the blower motor, which let air coming in through the cabin filter. And you know, if you want the cabin air, it closes obviously. And when it's open, you have the outside coming in, outside air coming in. You have other people talking about this issue already, so I'm not gonna repeat on that. But let me show you what I have outside. All right, it's very dusty here in northern China, right? So I have the cap right here open, right? Okay, so you probably know that you have the cabin air filter right beneath it. So as I took it apart, what I saw was the filter has been changed regularly, so it's okay. It's not that dirty, but the area around it was full of dirt. I mean, dirt is mixed with moistures and water, and build up in years. It actually clogged up these holes, and there's drainer holes underneath. So I cleaned them up, and also I found so much mud around this area, so I have them cleaned. So with that bear in mind, you're gonna think about, right, so is that dirty? Really dirty. I didn't wash the car, sorry about that. But so if it's that dirty outside, it's not going to be fun inside if you haven't cleaned your evaporator. So step by step, I have my focus moved over here towards this area, right? So on your right, here you have the blower motor. It's been changed, like I said. And over here you have the lever that changed the inside and outside circulation. That's already been cleaned. And over there, right, I didn't have the cover on, so you'll be able to see that is the resistor of the blower to adjust the fan speed. Right, so if you want to check the condition of your evaporator, especially the fins, if they're clean or not, or if you have anything clogged up inside, it's easier just to remove this bolt, the screw here with the T15, I believe, and you'll be able to pull this out, and which give you a very, well, it's an okay size window to be able to see inside, at least the middle and the lower section of it. And if you can, right, crawl under, you'll be able to see on top of it, because it goes up, the evaporator. So in my case, I took this apart.
I immediately saw this mud already covered up of the entire evaporator. And so I took the motor, blow motor away, put it under there, covered with some plastic, and I have this removed. So, and then I decided this only has 4 or 5 screws. You'll be able to take that away easily as well. But if you want to just check it up, you want to take this away because it only has 1 screw. But if you wanted to do some cleaning and you don't want to take the entire dash away, it's a very good way that you can do the cleaning through this hole, because as soon as you remove the motor, you'll be able to have a hole, much bigger than the size of your arm. So you'll be able to have some working space. It's not ideal, I know, but you'll be able to have, with the torchlight, you'll be able to see the condition inside. You can also do the scope, which you can see all the details. So in my case, I have so much mud, unbelievable, that I still have cold air coming out through these vents. So like I mentioned, the problem is just how much airflow you got in here. Right. So I use some, I have some liquor moly AC cleaner, but those are much more expensive than the ones that you can have here. This is Japanese made. This is for home use, but in China, with nearly every family, every room, you fit it with these AC units. So you clean them regularly as you spray them, and these come very cheap. So I use liquor moly, but that's about 6 times more expensive than these. These don't have any smells on them, and you can have them clean all the muds away, just save some money, and eventually you have the liquor moly cleaner, the last step. So I spent many hours doing this because I only have this much working space, but I have used my toothbrush. That's very helpful. If you just bend the head around and have some good wrists, just grab them. And other than that, you want the entire place to be soaked with cleaners, so you'll be able to get those dirts, the mud away from the evaporator surface, and also the fins. So with that being done, I have these installed back in, and what I've got here is very cool air. It got much stronger and get rid of all the smell, and you don't smell the dust anymore. So they be able to work much better as the surface of the evaporator gets expanded to a okay condition, and to be able to absorb all the heats in the cabin, and in terms of putting all the cold air in return. Right, so that's some tips, and hopefully will get you somewhere if you had the similar issue with mine. And now these air are much stronger. It can control and the situation and keep the air nice and cool of the entire cabin. Right, that's all I can give. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.